today. Those of you who are still busy and who are still working and who are still who are in bed. Anyways, I'm greeting you based on your time and all of that. So, please give me one moment. I'll get back to every. I'll get back to everyone now. One moment, please. Let me check who is there. Yeah, sorry, it's something we're doing here. I'm still in the office, so I'm sorry about that interruption. I want to thank you guys wherever you're watching from. Good to have you. And I want to also say to those of you who are, away from Biafra land, based on your time zone, I greet you this moment. Those of you in Biafra land, of course, it's evening, so I say good evening to you. Today marks another day of the contraptions program and systemic corruption, which we have seen spelt out a narrative of what they have done in their zoo courts today. And of course, we know that that is how it's going to go. But of course, we know that in the end, we shall win. We shall always win as a people who are determined and are very, very definitely um, programmed or destined to win. Welcome to the program today. This is True Channel Network, and my name is Kelechi Ambrose. I want to welcome you. Honestly, it's been a while, but thank God for everything. We are still here, and we'll keep talking and propagating the truth. Today, the court session was held, and we understand what happened in the courts. And you know that the zoo, the Nigeria courts, is always a criminal, enclave where several criminal activities are propagated and carried out in a stealthy way and manner to hoodwink and deceive the people. Even if we are not relying on the courts and the justice, the so-called justice system of the zoo, we still believe that God will do anything to free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The date has been moved or adjourned to 19th and 20th of March, as you know, some of you know, and we are looking forward also for the bail application that has been tendered before the courts and the granting of the bail application, and at the same time the trial begins. I'm in earnest. So I don't know what they want to try because the same High Court said there's nothing that he's acquitted, and there's nothing against him. And now the Supreme Court is saying he should go back to trial. So we don't understand the kind of games they're playing. I want to tell you guys, please, always pray for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. At the same time, also, let's stay focused and not get distracted. I also want to make you understand here, some of you who are always being misled. I want to put it here on record and make sure that it is recorded at the same time, also, as a witness for the future and for history, that the legal team or counsel representing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has nothing to do with Simon and his rogue team, the Simon of the Simon of Finland, the criminal in Finland, and his rogue team. They have nothing to do. They heard, of course, that Ejiofor will be taking over, or the legal Ejiofor and other people will not be showing up or may not be representing anymore. They now take it and try to deceive you to believe that they are taking over um, you know, um, the legal the legal position of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case. That's not true. They have nothing to do about it. They are not part of it. Ejimako is still there, strong, and with his team, they are still there, strong, doing the work they have to do until it's stated otherwise. So please get yourself to understand this. Let's stop allowing ourselves to be deceived. I don't know why we are so easy to be deceived and manipulated. Everything is about deceit and manipulation. And someone just sits in Finland. and just tells you anything, and you'll be jubilating on social media. I don't know. Anyways, it's a problem. Anyways, but we know that some of you, your brains have been locked up in the dungeon of hell, or in the dungeon of his pots. I don't know the pots here in Azuka where the sacrifice they have made that has locked some of your minds somewhere. They are not they are not in charge of the legal team for or the legal program for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So just know that, just know and know peace. And all this narrative today, the criminal in Finland posted something. Simon Epa, he posted something. He said that he is observing people should get just to excite, get people very excited, and they still get excited. I don't know. Let me check it out and read it out to you guys so that you guys can know what I'm talking about. I don't know. I don't know how you just the common criminal. Now look at what he posted today. Mm, he said something. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know whether I got it ready here. I don't know. My network signal is somehow today since morning it has been bad. So in case there's fluctuation, please pardon me on that. It's part of what is happening to the system. He said breaking with the ongoing coup in Nigeria by the northern soldiers and Hope Uzodinma, the Biafra government will have emergency cabinet meeting. How does Hope Uzodinma come into the matter of the coup? I don't know. He just wants to. He always wants to make you believe that he has information and always having information. The other time he came to tell you Ima Powerful has been locked up, in Ghana. Just different stories, anyways. I don't know, those of you, I don't know how your brains function, anyways. But listen to this funny tweet. It was tweeted yesterday, February. It was tweeted around 7:55 or 6. Sorry, yes, 8:55 p.m. Biafra time. Breaking with coup in Nigeria by the northern soldiers and Hope Uzodinma, the Biafra government will have emergency cabinet meeting to discuss possible declaration of the restoration of independence, state of Biafra, independence Biafra. See, he's laughing at somebody else's grammar when he was reading, listening to when Seun Kimbaloye, or what's his name now, was having was playing, of course. The voice from someone who claimed to be more powerful or something. Anyways, and he was laughing at the person's grammar. Look at his own grammar here. He doesn't have good grammar. He's laughing at somebody else's grammar. Yeah. So many of his broadcasts, you see some blunders and some funny intonation and all of that, and yet he's laughing at somebody else. That's how our people are. Keep mocking other people. Everything about the time he is exposed, he turns it to mockery. Now he has turned the issue of Ima Powerful to mockery on Twitter, and others are laughing too. Very funny people and crazy. He says emergency cabinet meeting. He's going to be having an emergency cabinet meeting based on the Nigeria coup stuff. So he's only basing his declaration of Biafra on the temperature or the actions that go on with Nigeria. He's looking at it. He's looking at everything. If the people protest, he will now, maybe the protest becomes hot. He will now capitalize that on that too. So he's waiting for something to happen that will instigate his, commotion everywhere. And then his own men will now go on rampage and also engage in the commotion. And then he will now say it is because of him that everything is going on that way. You guys should stop being deceived. I don't know what is wrong with all of you. You're just, I don't know, some of you, anyways, not all of you, because some of you are very intelligent and upright in your reasoning. He said, he said he's going to be holding an emergency cabinet meeting with who? With Ngozi Aragweze. With who? With and others. Let me not call, the ones that are fronting themselves, Ngozi Aragweze and all of that. He's going to be holding an emergency cabinet meeting where he will be in Finland. They will have a Zoom meeting. Normal thing that I know that happens, and everybody will be suggesting saying what they want to say. That's what's going to happen, and then they will now decide, okay, let's do it this way. Let's put them. We will daze them by this. I know how they operate there. So he said they're going to be having an emergency cabinet meeting to discuss possible declaration of restoration of independent state of Biafra, which should be ratified by delegates in Finland convention. As things unfold, we may not have to wait until November. Now, let me tell you something. The reason why Simon and his rogues fixed December, November, December, as the date for their declaration is They believe that before then, some kind of critical things will begin to happen in Nigeria. Of course, we know things will happen this year. Lots of things. You don't need a prophet to tell you. I don't need to come on social media to start talking every time or to tell you this is going to happen, that's what's going to happen. This no, we all know that the situation will get very dumpy and very opaque. It's going to be very terrible this year. Lots of terrible things will happen all over the nations of the world today. Of course, you heard the news of the man Austin Bruce. Is it Bruce Nail or something? Bruce Bushnell or something that set himself ablaze in front of Israeli embassy today in Washington D.C. And he said he wants to carry out a very kind of protest that is unusual and that is worse, that is not even as close to what the Palestinians are going through. And he poured fuel on himself. I don't understand that kind of courage people have to do these kind of things. I watched the video. The more I watched it over and over. I watched it. I kept watching it. He just poured the fuel on himself and lit himself and was screaming, "Free Palestine!" Honestly, you see, people can go the extreme for some stuff. But our people go the extreme to be stupid in the issue of Biafra. How can somebody tell you that he's going to give you Biafra and he tells you that Ojuku couldn't give you Biafra? Wasruke couldn't give you Biafra. How he is going to give you Biafra? And then he now tells you he's going to declare Biafra. And you believe him. And he said he's going to declare it from a foreign land, Finland. You believe him. Look at the tweets today. He said the way things look, it seems we're going to declare it before the time. He said with the ongoing coup in Nigeria, I don't know the coup he's talking about, anyways, even if with the premonitions of coup and all of that. How can you be adjudging your own actions based on what you want everywhere to go ablaze? He wants confusion everywhere so that the confusion will be the reason why he will now capitalize on it and all of that. Now look at it. He said that he has taken over the legal, you know, the legal framework and the legal control of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case and all of that. And today we saw Aloy Jimako there and his team, and he's busy telling you that he's busy telling Ejiofor he'll be his end. How does that relate to how are you his end? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Ejiofor and Co. Ejiofor and Ejimako have been having issues, and there have been this tussle. You don't have a representation in Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case. You don't have a representation before Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You don't have any, but you keep manipulating your people, and the people keep believing him. Now, let me tell you something. I am still saying it again, and I want you to put it, this must be on record. The criminal in Finland and his rogue team has nothing to do with the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in court. The case has been adjourned to 19th and 20th for the bail application to be, declared or so, I think it has been heard today, so it's going to be decided on the 19th, or yes, on the 19th, and then the trial will begin. And that is, even if, of course, they talked about his change of cloth and some other things that were said. Even if some of the things was, we just know that we are not dependent on the courts of the contraption for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case. We are not dependent on the courts, even if we know that Chukwuokike can use anything to. But for now, as things are, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case is the only part we are looking at now for his freedom, the bail application and all of that, the courts. From everything now, obviously 200% correct. Nothing is happening for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. No, nothing is happening at all. Forget what is happening with the criminal in Finland. He's only busy trying to be relevant, stealing from the people, manipulating the people. Where is his legal team that he said is representing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Did you see any of them today? But today he's busy turning the whole thing somehow to make it look to make it to becloud the minds of his gullible followers, to make it seem as if he has a hand in making sure that Ejiofor was not part of the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's representation today, was not part of the legal team today. Whereas he has nothing to do with it. Of course, we all have information about the change of the things that are happening, the change of legal and stuff, which he also heard, and he wants to now put it or draw it to himself and make it look like he has an influence regarding that. He has an influence regarding that. So you should understand when people are stealthily manipulating you, you should have your brains intact. You should have your brains intact. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case has nothing to do with the criminal act. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu didn't take advice from him. Some kind of stuff here. Anyways, please, there's fluctuation in the network. So if you have this fluctuation, please bear with me. Bear with me. I want us to be praying for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because the case is the only way. That is the only part we're looking at now, and hoping that Chukokike will do something drastically that will bring Mazi Nnamdi Kanu out. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu comes out, the whole truth and the whole things that are happening would be clear in the eyes of the people. I know that some people will still rebel against him because they're under the juju of the criminal in Finland. So all this nonsense will be sorted out. All this nonsense will be sorted out. If I truly have plans and programs for the declaration of Biafra, I wouldn't be waiting for Nigerians to go and protest and then begin to use that as the basis of measuring how I am going to. There's so many things I will talk to you about. For instance, yesterday he posted with the breaking ongoing coup in Nigeria by northern soldiers and hope Uzodinma and Biafra government will have emergency cabinet meeting to discuss possible declaration of the restoration of independent state of Biafra, which will be ratified by delegates in Finland convention. You will be in Finland to declare Biafra. You are insane. You don't get sense. And those of you who are clapping and jubilating, something is wrong with all of you. You don't have sense. Because I wonder why someone will stay in Finland and declare Biafra, and then you jubilate wherever you are, or everywhere you are all over the world, and you will stay and jubilate, and you'll still be afraid to come to the zoo. Does it make sense to you? You'll be afraid to get buy your ticket, leave America, leave wherever you are, come back to the zoo. He himself is afraid to come back. All of you are afraid to come back, and you are declaring there in the foreign land. It is funny. It is funny, and I'm going to show you some other things. I think I need to show you some other things from his platform where he made some comments regarding us. I now said to myself, oh, so even after declaring that so-called freedom, you are still going to also be engaging, not being in control of Biafra land, because that's what it is. However, we are monitoring the situation in also Rock. What are they monitoring? They will look from Sahara reporters, from Punch and other places. Whatever news they hear is what they come to tell you. And they say they are monitoring. What are they monitoring? Have they ever given you any strange news that they didn't get from Sahara reporters or from any other place? They don't have people anywhere giving them any news. They don't have any representation with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They are just there giving you updates from what they and coin everything to suit their own interest. And then you would jubilate and give them funds. You'll jubilate. Scripture says you should be wise as serpent and harmless as dove. But yet some of you are so let me read this. When he tagged Punch, have you ever seen Punch write anything about him or some of these mainstream media? It is those ones he opened, Nigeria's Fair, and all those ones that he has opened. He has opened for himself to make it look like he has. It's so unfortunate that most of you fall for such kinds of deception. Now let me just read this tweet. He said, "When will the Nigerian criminal apologize to me?" He actually captioned one Punch stuff that was of Punch that was actually I think was in 2023 or so 2020 in 2022, as I was preparing to stop Nigeria from conducting fraudulent election in 2023. Where? How did you stop them? You were stop them. How did you stop them? You said you are preparing to stop them from conducting? How were you preparing to stop them? By being on social media and talking and making people's pressure, and exciting the people that are following you and making them feel good. Is that the stopping? He said, as I was preparing to stop Nigeria from conducting fraudulent election in 2023, I told you what you need is referendum and not election. Petition to Finland, wrote to EU, wrote to Interpol. You opened online petition against me. Today, what are you doing? Many of you are now praying to God to use Samanepa and end Nigeria. Who is praying to God to use them? You see, this guy is just very, very funny in his deceptive, ways and all of that. He's everything that happens in the zoo. He wants to put it in a way that it will look like yes, it is actually, he wants to make himself relevant and front himself to become a subject of discussion in relation to whatever is happening. And you know why I point these things? Because I want to bring out the stupidity of these things so that those who jubilate and those who are celebrating and those who refuse to watch my broadcast anymore and those who would later go and watch it and get the information and those who will be told by those who watch it and they don't watch it, and all of that, will understand this whole thing. You can't continue to be stupid, for God's sake. He told you when he was preparing to stop the election. Did he stop the election? Even in his local government, did he stop the election? No. He said he was preparing. How can you be preparing? You couldn't stop the one of Imo State. You want to stop the one of the whole of Biafra land. Now, that someone is here and deceiving you, don't you see that you're being deceived? He said they wrote who is writing to him up, who is writing to Interpol EU and all of that. Because that time they felt that he actually was going to make good of his boast. In fact, as we were supporting him and talking about it and telling the Nigerian states that no election in Biafra land, people thought that we knew what we were saying. People thought that we had everything prepared. He alone was the one conducting the whole affairs in his mind and telling us what to say. He doesn't discuss the details with us. And I always ask questions. We need to know the details, but everybody say, okay, let's allow him because so that things will not be leaked to the Nigerians from any corner. Let's allow him to do what he wants to do. And in the end, you saw it, nothing. All the boast and all of that. Now he's now saying that all the petition written against me, he's trying to bring an impression that he's so important. They wrote petitions against him. This was he actually did, I think about how many days ago. And you go to Twitter, you'll see this. He said, many of you now are praying to God to use Simon Ekpa and end Nigeria. Who is, for God's sake, he tagged Punch and he said many people are, that God will use Simon Ekpa to end Nigeria. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu never said Simon will end Nigeria. Neither would Ken Simon end Nigeria. He has said it that he cannot because Wazuke couldn't. Because Ojukwu couldn't. He wants to sit in Finland. Ojukwu was in Biafra land and fought. He couldn't. He had to go on exile. Wazuke was in Biafra land, doing all he was doing until he was captured, and then later he was manipulated. Whether he was manipulated or he fell for it, and got himself hooked in this whole thing. Now he is now, even if he has his boys, doing what they are doing, but he is just, doing it in the name of doing it, not because he's truly intending, because he has already sold out and he has already vowed he cannot. If he goes against it, they will kill him. He has to go according to what they agreed, because agreement is agreement. That's it. So he has to dance according to the music that he told them to play for him, and all of that. And this one is in Finland, saying that people are praying that he should come and end Nigeria. How? How can people like Wazirike, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in detention? The man who the main man who make good of his words, whose words are true and every time, and who makes good of his words. He is there, and you are telling us that you that is sitting in Finland, who only is an opportunist, got an opportunity because based on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's situation, you now capitalized on it, and of course everybody began to, because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu had actually talked about you initially, and you were the most active on social media. So everybody just felt, let's rally around you, let's together with you work, not knowing that you are also thinking something else. Oh, okay, I'll smart these people. And you say that people are praying that if you had succeeded in 2022 December to silence me, who will you look up to today to deal with Nigeria for you? Can you imagine? This guy self now, wow. I don't know how there is a shout, but this guy get God. So look at what he's writing, telling over 120 million Biafrans all over the nations of the world and other people that if they have succeeded in silencing him, who will they look up to? That means he is the only. What he's trying to say is that he is the only one qualified. He is the only one that can do whatever, and he's not doing anything. He's saying, if you have succeeded in silencing me, who will you look up to today to deal with Nigeria for you? How are you dealing with Nigeria? By all this you're making social media? Today, your boys are constituting nuisance in food social on in Biafra land. They go ambush and kill and run to hide. Then the military will come there, kill the people, bring their tanks in, station them there. When they station them there, you will not come. You'll be your boys will be hiding. You will only be waiting when you will capture one of them, that one that leaves that area and goes to a particular place. You guys will lay him, kill him, and then run away again. And that is what you are doing. And you are creating problems for the young people. Is this, do you call that strategy? That is not strategy. That is not strategy. Anywhere you kill a Nigeria military personnel or whatever, if that's the strategy you want to adopt, you must make sure you have your men there stationed to stand and wait for the repercussion that will come, or wait for their reappearance, because they're going to come back. They're going to come to that community. You must put your men there to make sure you defend that community. Not after they do it, you run away. After you do it, you run away. And then when they come to kill the people, you now come on social media. They have come, they are killing our people in so place, but our men will do something about it. We are killing them, blah blah blah, and they are killing our boys, our young boys who would stand on during the time, and as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is talking about, when they are needed. You, as the criminal in Finland, is trading them for your selfish behavior, your selfishness. You and Azuka, wherever she has gone to hide, playing from the underground. You, Azuka, and Ngozi, playing from the underground. Azuka is a very wicked criminal. She has gone on the ground because she doesn't because they don't want people to be talking about her anymore, because it was now becoming like causing them to causing a reduction on the monies they were getting. They now kept her on the ground, but she's still the one collecting the monies with her account. She just kept went mute, so making it look like, hey, the criminal has sacked her. But he refused to talk about her. In fact, in a particular voice message, he was saying that nobody should talk about Umada. Nobody should send money to any Umada. And he was talking about one lady in Nigeria. He never talked about Azuka. He never called Azuka's name. He didn't mention it. When people want to force him to talk about Azuka, he doesn't want to, because he knows he cannot. He cannot. How would he? He cannot. Now let me check for another stuff he posted. Daily Post, Nigeria posted something. It said economic hardship. I don't know why Southeast is quiet. He now said, I used 2.5 years to prepare Biafra to face today. Can you imagine? The criminal in Finland tagged Daily Post. I'm sorry, copied or screenshot their post on social media, and what the Daily Post actually posted is, I don't know why Southeast is quiet. Now he wants to make himself relevant in that scene also, so that people will feel that he is the one making the Biafra people tough. He said, the criminal now said, I used 2.5 years to prepare Biafrans to face today. What have you learned from Simon so far for the past years? What did you learn from him? Because all I know is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is actually the one who has taught Biafrans to face hard times, face the enemies, and stand up. What has he taught you? Is it coming to analyze one Nigeria stuff or what something going on? What has he taught you? Is he intellectual enough to teach anybody? He's not intellectual enough to teach anybody. He only comes to analyze things that are going on. He just picks up one stuff and analyze. And if I take up materials and analyze, I'll do better. I do them. I can analyze very well, but that's not the issue. I teach also. I'm a teacher. Can he teach very critically on professional level? He can't. Now he's now telling you that he's now drugging it. It was no more Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's teaching for all these 10 years was unnecessary. It was his 2 years plus of noise making on social media that is the to teach our people. No, he didn't say so. He said that Simon, used 1.5 years to teach the people to teach Biafrans to prepare for today, for this time, to face today. So all the teachings Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have been doing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu didn't do anything. It is you in 1 year and 1 year and 6 months that taught the people. What did you teach the people? Can you write out what he taught you? Nothing. Only to talk about a Jimafo, a Jimako, a Jiofo, is a comment. Talk about this. Talk about Mapa, talk about Chinas and Woro, talk about this, talk about this. That's all. What's teaching? Can he really teach people? What did he teach the people? He talked about 150 days. Is that teaching? You said you were going to get the people free in 150 days. You didn't teach them. 150 days came and you overshot it to 8 days after the election, thinking that the people were going to go on the streets because if they were not given the mandate of Peter Obi, they were going to go crazy. You thought they were going to go crazy as you thought. And as everyone also thought, because they posted, they made, in fact, on their Twitter space, they were posting and saying so many things. They were saying they had gotten weapons and everything. If Peter Obi doesn't win, if they rig the election, they were going to do this. So you were capitalizing on that, thinking that you were going to have a cheap way of telling their friends that you have actually instigated terrible things in Nigeria. And you never got it because you thought that after 8 days of the election, they would have announced the results. So you posted the 150 days ahead, 8 days after the election, thinking it's going to happen. Nothing happened, and then everything went down, and then you now begin to jump from here, from that place to the other place. The next thing we started hearing was you have put a headquarters in Maryland, USA. Till today, there's no headquarters in Maryland in USA. You have bought this, you have gotten this liaison office. The one they call Gaddafi now came off also with his criminal stuff. Say he has liaison office in South Korea. Nothing. And that one too wants to play fast on him. Of course, criminal and criminal. This one I get the money. This one I they make the money. The other one won't out get money also and outsmart them also. But he couldn't, because they're all criminals. Now you're coming to tell us that you taught Biafrans to face today. What do you get? What's in your brain where you want to teach Biafrans? What is your worth? How? If they put you in a class to teach people, ways of life and some stuff, what are you going to teach? Nothing. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu taught Biafrans, not you. So those of you who are here, who are representing him and listening to my voice, and of course he also sometimes is here. Maybe he's here today, the criminal in Finland. Let him hear today. You never taught Biafrans anything. It was Mazi Nnamdi Kanu who taught Biafrans to the grassroots. He taught Biafrans to be tough. He taught Biafrans to be free. But some people went out of context and began to believe in people like you because they have not liberated their minds. Even if they heard the messages, they were not liberated by the messages. Of course, just like Yehoshua Mashiach said, when you plant the word, when you plant the seed, some will fall on the right side, some will fall on the bad soil, some will fall on this rock, on the stone, and all of that. But the ones that fall on the sand and the right soil will germinate. So it is not compulsory that when people are taught, they will definitely all be good. Some of them will not really take the message. And that is what has happened to so many people who are following the criminal in Finland. Whatever you tell them, they will never, they are just there. Even when they know that what they are believing in is a lie, they still want to justify believing in that lie because they just want to be hopeful that something is in front of them that is giving them hope because of their inferiority complex, because of their maximum inferiority complex. So the criminal will post something like, I used 2.5 years to prepare Biafrans to face today, and they will believe it. Because I don't know because out of all of that, he was just busy saying so many rubbish here on social media. Now, so many of the criminal leaders from the caliphate are worried and surprised that Biafrans are not complaining. I used 2.5 years to prepare them for today. He made emphasis on it just to make himself relevant. He will put it on social media because social media will not change it. It will be there even into the next generation. So he wants to put it. When the next generation reads it, the next generation will say, wow, so this man did some work. Nothing. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu taught Biafrans, not the criminal in Finland. Look at another stuff. He tagged Punch when Punch posted something, said, bandits kill 9, abduct ex-CBN director, 34 others in Kaduna State. He now, screenshot that fake video that he's using to project himself as fighting in Biafra land. That one I showed you the other time, that the tankers were packed, and he said that he's killing them, the war in Biafra land, and there was no war. It was just the tanks. In fact, the military men were standing there and just doing their normal business and going their normal way. It's a shame on Nigeria media. This is what you have turned your front pages of newspaper to be on daily basis, and nobody's asking questions. While in Southeast, where there is no terrorist activities, their colleagues in uniforms are bombing civilians, and no media is reporting it. So they are bombing civilians. I thought you said you are killing them. Now, when they come to bomb, you kill them. I thought you are in control. What is this double standard? Today you are in control. When they come, you kill them. But they should send more. You are killing them. Tomorrow, they are bombing the people. Shame on the media when they should be reporting what is happening as they are bombing the civilians, civilians. They are busy talking about something else. Now, what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to deal with the people bombing. You said you are in control. You said you are destroying their tankers. You said you are destroying their armor tanks. You said you are destroying their men. You said you are destroying everything that has to do with them. You said you are in control. So why are you telling us now that the terrorists and their colleagues in uniform are bombing civilians? I thought you have the surface-to-air missile. You can bring down their jets. You said you are shooting down their aircraft. In fact, you said that their aircraft was running away. You said they told their pilots to drive the craft, and they refused to drive the craft. You said it now, just last week. You said they have told their men, or last week or 2 weeks ago, that their pilots refused to drive their private their fighter jets again. They are running. Hope Uzodinma should go and drive the fighter jet by himself. You said so. So how come so who is driving? Are you the one driving the jet and bombing your people? Because if you say that everybody's afraid of driving the fighter jet, and now you're saying that they are bombing, it simply means that you now have taken over the fighter jet and you are bombing the people. That's what it means. Because if you say you are in control, why this kind of message? Does it make sense to anybody who is reasonable? He now he now screenshots some a press release 2000 by that these people, the Biafra Restoration Voice, posted on the platform of Biafra Restoration Voice, IPOB press release. He now tagged it and posted some. He said IPOB Nigeria copying Biafra government issuing threats to Biafrans. I call on Biafrans to understand that in as much as the Biafra government has banned protest in Biafra land, for God's sake, nobody is even looking at your ban, because everybody has already said it that they were not going to protest. It was not because you said, and because you heard from people, and because you already know Biafrans are saying they are not going to protest. They don't have time for protest. You perceive the pulse of the people. You now come to say that you are banning protest. Oh my God! And some of you are not sensitive. Some of you are not sensitive to this whole thing. This guy just keep using your brains. I call on Biafrans to understand that in as much as the Biafra government has banned protest in Biafra land to safeguard our people from Nigeria's extrajudicial killings, we are not threatening our citizens. This is how these criminals, IPOB Nigeria, has been issuing threats to Biafrans for years. However, the time to engage these criminals is fast approaching. We are still busy in our eyes on the ball. Which ball? No ball. After declaration, there will be punishment for any criminal group threatening Biafra people carrying any attack against Biafra people. Now, he said that these people were threatening Biafrans. He said that the press release. Now, I'm going to look for that press release and read to you and tell me if Biafrans were threatened or it was those who are working for the Nigeria state that were threatened. I'm going to open this now. I'm going to look for it. I'm going to read it so that you would know. Because I want to ask you, and then I'll play a particular video so that you will tell me who is actually threatening who. Who is the one threatening people? Who is the one threatening Biafrans? You see his men carry gun and sit down and tell you that if we see you, we are going to make sure we deal with you. His men threatening Biafrans. And yet somebody and this particular stuff was posted. There's no threat. Let me look for it and read to you so that you can understand what I'm saying, because some of you might not understand. I hope I will see this stuff, because sometimes these things are lost, in the midst of the whole, because he keeps posting things every moment. He keeps posting things. Keep posting and posting and posting. So before you know it, everything is gone far. You don't Because he doesn't have anything doing. He keeps posting different things on social media. Different things. You begin to wonder. Look at postings. IPOB Prime Minister. his prime minister has visited US. He's in Finland. He's doing a Zoom meeting. He said he's visiting. He tells you visiting Africa. He's in Finland. He posts that stuff, and then he tells you he's visiting. Manipulation of and his people are excited. Very wrong graph. Very, very wrong graph. Now let me read this. Let me read the stuff that was actually you know the press release that was done on the 20th of February by IPOB. They said, following the unprecedented hardship in the contraption called Nigeria, we, the global family and movement of the indigenous people of Biafra, ably led by the great leader Mazi Okuchukwu can hereby caution the people of Biafra not to join any Nigerians to protest against hunger in Nigeria in any Biafran territory. Any Nigerian agent who dares to organize any protest in Biafra land will regret it. They never threatened any Biafran. They said any Nigeria agent who dares. Does that sound like a threat to Biafrans? Now let me play the one of his men did, which they posted everywhere, so that you can tell me which one is a threat. I'm, you know, you know, so that you can tell me the one that's a threat and the one that is actually. Um, Let me look for that. I didn't plan to play this today, but I have to do it. It just occurred to me now, so that I will be able to get you more information on this. Okay, I think it should be on Facebook. Let me see. Let me see. Please bear with me a while. Let me show it to you now. Let me show you this one that was played by his man on, the man threatening Biafrans, holding a gun and threatening Biafrans, saying that anybody who comes out is going to deal with that person. Let me play it to you so that you will hear it yourself, because some of you need to get these things, so that your senses will be rightly formed, and then you will understand some stuff. I think it's not on Facebook. Let me see. Let me see if I can get it here, where these things are. Sometimes we have so many videos that you have to look for and look for, keep looking for. All right, so please bear with me. Let me get it down right now. This is the threats that his man is issuing to the people, and then he now says that it is the other way around. The other people are threatening, whereas he is not threatening. I hope I can find this video. I don't know why I'm not finding it now, but I know that some of you are. Okay, I need to get it so that I can play it to you so that you can see it, and then you can compare and know who is threatening who. Who is threatening who. I don't know if this is the video. Let me check it now and see if this is the video. Okay, it's not. It's not. It's not. Please, please, please. I need this video to show up. I need this video to show up. Where is it? Anyways, I was just trying to play the video of. I'll try to get it. If I get it, I'll play to you so that you'll be able to understand who is threatening who. Anyways, one of his men came up with a gun and sat down somewhere and covered his face and was telling. There's a particular video, where somebody was saying something, and The guy was saying some stuff. I just smiled. That particular video is giving us a narrative of what Simon saying to the people. I don't know whether I should play this particular video. Let me see if I can play it so that you can hear. This guy just said some stuff, and I like what he said, anyways. But he didn't really explain it. You know. No. Now, a particular video where they were manipulating the people to think that they were in charge, and they were using an effect. There's this app effect where you can actually program. You're doing a video and you're programming, and it can give you different kinds of effect where you hear some gunshot. Now, when this guy was saying something, and that's what I want to point out. When the Boko Haram want to show when they're attacking, they show it to you very well. You see them in action. They show it to you in action. When the Nigeria contraption want to show you what they are doing, they show the action to you. When it comes to this criminal in Finland, you will see somebody in a bush path hiding somewhere and just putting the camera on the ground or putting it on a particular part of the bush and telling you that, yes, well, our men are busy. Our men are doing this and all of that. Then you start hearing gunshot after. They'll say, okay, yeah, listen now, you'll hear it. Then you'll hear the gunshot. It is when they say listen that you will now hear it. Now listen to this guy. This guy was trying to point out some stuff here now. Now let's listen to what this guy is saying. Let's listen, please. All the whole in the last 3 days. Enjoy it. Your boy strong. Someone your soldier strong. BIAFRA government, una Air Force, una Land Force, una Sea Force, una them be the best. Una them be the best. Butus or you get boys, Butus or you get boys. So far, we never lost any single player like them. College. My goodness me. See your bum. Children of God, I want to give you this video anyway. Today is they say I Lovers Day. We really show the show love. We show the we show them love. Today is the most happiest day. Let me forward it because this is nonsense. Where you manage to cut. And this is why they very, very far from. Very, 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 very far from where we stay. The world should know that we are very good. You understand? The night job alone. For tell them more than 200. More than 200 have collected. More than 200 have collected. And yet, we cannot show you one. More than 200 again. They collect some more. Teaching that you come with 3,000, 4,000 soldiers for our land. Now you think you fit to it, you fit to go back to see your fighter jet, no fit even come down. Fear they guide that one. They up. Come down and fire now. No be you used to come down where we are. No fit come down. Come and fire. Now you see how they are contradicting themselves. His principal tells you that their fighter jet is bombing people. These ones tell you that the fighter jet cannot come down. His principal also will still come and tell you that nobody's agreeing to drive their fighter jet, the Zeus fighter jet. They keep contradicting themselves. Now, there's a point I want you to listen here. When he will say that they don't shoot, you hear, okay, you hear him now. Then you will now hear the sound. Just listen. Okay, I think, let me take it back. They up. Come down and fire now. No be you used to come down where we are. No fit come down. Come and fire to Kanu. Come and throw bomb. At our wedding on his own, look at what you have did. What you did to this innocent Angela. Look at what you What did. Is he showing? Nothing. Angela will never forgive you. He's just talking and showing you the bush. Where you just abuse like this. All right. This one. Now listen to what this guy will say here. Now listen. You'll hear what the guy will say. The guy who is conducting this video. Listen. I will never forgive you. This I tell her where you just abuse like this. All right, clear this one. All venture. You clear this one. Then Mosisiegi, all the whole Nigerian India, this guy sympathised in the last 3 days. Now clear this one. I'm coming back to show you everything in the plain language. Now enjoy it. And again, in this video, if you now, just pay attention. So, do you check it? Give the way OCR control that device. Obey the device on. Obey phone, obey the device. Do you check it here? Get what if you so, good afternoon, wonderful people of Biafra. Up on you going now, I'm going to watch here. The war is very interesting. It's very interesting, very, very interesting. Yes. As you know, that this is 4 days since we have a battle with them. But my joy is that no matter how many they are, the ground of Biafra will sell all of them. They are falling, they are falling. They are falling in mass. Falling in mass, falling in mass. As I always assure them, the more you come, the more you fall. The harder you come, the harder you fall. We are not afraid of them, and we cannot lose this match. This is our ground. We don't have the land, not themselves. The ground know us, and we know our ground. No stranger can come here and take over our land. So, yes, the war is going on, no rest, day and night. You can hear the sound. Ogabanya on now. Watch again for Ogabanya on now. Watch. You can hear the sound. That's all. That's all. That's all. Now, did you hear that? He said you can hear the sound. Then you now hear the sound. You can hear the sound. You now hear the sound. Does it make sense to you? So he knows when they are going to shoot. That's what this guy is trying to explain now. He will put it on now. He will put that effect now on. You will hear the sound. Then they put the sound. Now I'll forward it back again a bit so you can listen to that part again. So now water. The only enemy could collect. All right. Now pay attention. No, let me play that. Watch on now. Watch. You can hear the sound. That's all. Now. One to get it. If you don't get it, my brother, please, Makato. Now water. The only enemy could collect. Now you see how they keep deceiving themselves and fooling themselves. And the most unfortunate thing is that we have lots of people, some people who are, especially most people who are on, on uh, I'm just seeing one of his message now coming in. I think it was posted about 1 hour ago. There must be something he will post. Daily Post posted something. Daily Post said, "Light up Nigeria project signals new dawn for Southeast. Governor Mba." He now says, "Scammers and murderers, you all escape today. Next time you will not escape." His people will not begin to jubilate. Yes, they will not escape. The same thing is talked about Hope Uzodinma. Who's Hope Uzodinma cannot come to Biafra land. He's in Azoro. He is that. He is this. Hope Uzodinma is still the governor. He rigged himself in and nothing happened. And he's still busy talking. Now look at this. He now posted another one now. He said, let me see. He said, breaking. Everything is breaking. He said, Biafra Navy neutralized 5 Cameroonian terrorist army in Kombo, Abedimo capital. Block Cameroonian armored tank. And blocked. The way they write grammar self now, why the full stop and the comma and everything just there anyhow. You don't even know how to place the grammar. You put comma and you put capital, you start a word with capital letter again. Doesn't make sense. Block Cameroon armored vehicle. February 26th, Bakassi Peninsula. Five terrorist soldiers and one Biafra naval fighter has been killed. Five terrorist soldiers and one Biafra naval fighter has been killed following an exchange of gunfire in the capital of Kumbo, Abedino subdivision near the Bakassi Peninsula in Indian Division. Of course, he has to say that one Biafra stuff was because there was an exchange, so one fell, just to make it look very real. Somebody, it's like that. He has never been saying any of them fell this period, but he has to say one because to seem as if every time the Biafra, the Nigeria contraption stuff are falling, but yet his own men and none of them are falling. So he needs to just mention one today to excite his people, and all of that. And then his e-frogs, those ones who have been commissioned to blow up these things, this information will now go to work and now begin to make you begin to say, oh, may his soul rest in peace, may all those stuff. We are still gallant, we are still on, we are fighting, we are not resting. Just to give you an impression of all of that and all of that. And so it is part of the game, uh, President from the out of the appeals. See now, to God Almighty be all glory for his presence and grace for a successful outing of our PM visit to North and Southern America. Successful outing. Oh Lord have mercy. You see, sometimes you just look at these criminals and you begin to wonder what really they intend. Now I want to get it. The reason why I always point out these things because I see that so many people, nobody wants to analyze this whole thing and relate them to criminality that is going on and all of that. Let me put back my background because it's important. It's the essence of let me put back the background because it's important. It gives an information of what we're doing. Truth Channel Network. It has to give that information. Very, very correct and very, very important for us to have that information passed on. And you have to understand this. Don't get yourself entangled in this whole shenanigan and continue to allow yourself to be robbed. That's the right word I should use, to be robbed. We appreciate God for today. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu came to the courts. I was trying to study his countenance. I saw one man who refused to shake his hand. One, they are feeling too. I think I need to play that video. Let me play that video so that you guys can see it. The guy refused to shake his hands, and I just laughed at the guy. I said, "You just displayed. That is what that guy represents. The attitude of Nigeria. One lawyer like that. I don't know where he came from. He represents the attitude of Nigeria. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stretched forth his hands. A man like him, who is higher than him in everything, stretched forth his hands to shake him. He ignored, he snubbed him after the prayers and Mazi Nnamdi. Now watch this. Watch this. Did you see that? Did you see that? He stretched his hand to shake the man. The man rebuffed him, snubbed him. He feels that he is bigger than our leader. I'll show you again this part again so that you will see it. I want you to see it very clearly. The man, the so-called lawyer, or whatever he thinks he is, thinks he's bigger than our leader because he's in jail. Because he's in jail. Now listen or watch this. When you see an average Nigerian, they don't reason. He is snubbing our leader because he's wearing the regalia of law, their uniform. He's snubbing our leader. He doesn't know that man is greater than his generation, past and present and future. He doesn't know. And he's going to dance to the music of spiting the anointing of God. You can't spite somebody like that and think you'll go free. Definitely. You would go free. Such people are rare to come in every generation, and they come around and you spite them. Everyone who has hand in Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case, from Kenya to the zoo right now, anyone who has hand, they will not go free. Their generations will not go free. Look at the way the guy spited Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, snubbed him. He thinks he's. I'll play it again so that I want you to see it again. I want you to see it again. I'll play it again from top so that you can see this. Somebody has the gut to spite Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and those of you who sold him, those of you who are capitalizing on him, stealing from Biafrans, all of you, including this man, will not go free. Watch this. That is Aloy Jumako. Stretching his hands to shake the man. The man snubbed him. It is the same as those of you who are part of selling Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and those who are extorting from Biafrans today. You are in the same shoes with this man who's not Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It is a clear, um, a clear division between those who are free of the curses and those who are going to be cursed. And I'm going to end this broadcast with this curse. Every one of you who are responsible for the selling of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, every one of you who are part of selling Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, every one of you whose hand is involved, from Kenya to the contraption to this time, robbing the people, capitalizing on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's situation and circumstance to rob the people, the curse that goes with Biafra freedom on those who would be destroyed without remedy from your generation now to your generation in future will rest on you and your generation to come. You will be cursed. You would suffer. You will die violent death in your families. You will never know peace. You'll never enjoy the monies you stole or you are stealing. Keep robbing Biafrans, capitalizing on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, or you are betraying him, sabotaging him, using him to make money. I tell you, the curse is permanent on your generations to come and on you. This we pray, praying with those who are on the path of truth. He say. Thank you all. I appreciate you guys. See you next time. Today I just decided to show this because today is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's court case. The only days I will be talking about the criminal. I'll be bringing all the criminal activities of people in Biafra land, including the main criminal in Finland. I'll be doing that every Friday or Saturday. Friday I'll talk about his criminality. Then on Saturday, I'm going to talk about the Nigeria criminality. I'll look at the things happening in Nigeria. And then other days, I'm going to be preaching other narratives and going into other dimension, helping our people to grow, and at the same time pointing out some facts we need to understand, and some historical facts and also other facts that are necessary for us to learn from, and so that we can build ourselves and all of that and get ourselves and become very prepared for what is to come. I want to appreciate every one of you. Please share this broadcast on all your social media platforms, like this video, and send it to anyone you want and all your social media platforms, in fact, all, so that people can get conversant with the truth and know what we are preaching and get the fact of the truth. It's getting dark here, anyways, so I cannot stand up to put on the light. But, anyways, I want to appreciate you guys, and please subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed. It's very, very important. Truth Channel Network must go all over the nations of the world, and we must preach this truth for people to be saved. Thank you all. I appreciate you guys, and God bless you very good. Enjoy the rest of your day or your night. Thank you.